What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. We've got a news update here. Just something that was given to me or provided in chat here. There is a WoW Classic Season of Mastery coming soon. World of Warcraft Classic with some changes, it sounds like. I glanced at it briefly. I didn't look at it too much, but we're going to go over it here right now and see what you guys think. So it's Greeting Adventurers, WoW Classic Season of Mastery is coming soon, giving all players a chance to start fresh and a level playing field. This time around, we're planning slightly more changes, so that's interesting that they add that on there. Everybody was hashtag no changes, and they did changes anyway in Classic launch. We all know that for a variety of reasons, but we're not going to get into that. That's not what we're here about. It says they're going to launch new Classic WoW realms for a Season of Mastery. The terminology season, that's got me a little bit curious, because what have I said a few times in the past? They're going to try to turn it into a seasonal game where it's like, oh, this season is this season is this season is this. I'm not a fan of doing seasons of the game. I'm okay if they're revamping, making it better, adding to a Classic Plus, those kind of things, but only if they do it in the truest sense of what Classic WoW is. So let's see what they've added in here and what it's going to be. So with the first release of Classic WoW, we're planning on, as with the first release of Classic WoW, we're planning on 6 content release phases, while Classic Season of Mastery, however, phase unlocks will happen faster. We're planning on a 12-month cadence, with phases unlocking roughly every couple months. So they're making it about a year long, is what it sounds like. Here's the current outline for the 6 phases. Molten Core, Oni, Maraudon, PvP honor system with Battlegrounds, up to from phase 3 and 4. Okay. Phase 2, Dire Maul, Azurgo's Kazakh. Phase 3, Blackwing, Darkwind Fair. Deck drops begin. Phase 4, ZG, Green Dragons. Phase 5, Encourage War Effort begins. Encourage Raid opens when the War Effort dictates. Phase 6, Naxxramas and Scourge Invasion. Okay, so that's going to be the same. And see here, every couple of months. So yeah, that's going to be about a year is what they're looking at per run, which again throws us back into the seasonal thing. Not a fan of that, but I do want to see what else they're offering here. The original release WoW Classic was made to recreate the difficulty and challenge of patch 1.12 from the original World of Warcraft release. While we strive to bring faithful recreation of that release, many raid encounters turned out to be easier than the first time around. Players simply were more experienced, prepared, and the patch updates greatly increased player power. Yes, that's one of the things they didn't do in original Classic launch, was to offer the itemization upgrades as the patches went on. They just gave everybody the final items and left it at that, which was way too much power way too quickly. And it did trivialize the encounters some, in addition to the use of world buffs, those kind of things. We all know what happened there, at least anybody that's been following Classic World of Warcraft. With that in mind, we're planning on a few changes to make those early raid bosses pack a bit more of a punch and attempt to recapture the original challenge they presented. These changes currently include, but are not limited to, so there are some changes here. Okay, world buffs like Rallying Cry the Dragon Slayer disabled in raid instances. I applaud this. This is great. This is something I would have loved to have seen them do back when. That's good to see. So that's going to by default increase the difficulty by reducing the power that players have across the board. Restoring mechanics that were removed early on to some raid bosses. For an example, Gar and Molten Core, what would happen is if you got them below 50%, the ads would start to explode and cause AoE damage and a big mess, knocking people around. That's not something that happened. That was taken out, so I'm assuming mechanics like that will be reintroduced to the game, so you have to contend with those ads as you're doing the boss, not just hold them off to the side, kill the boss, and then even if you wipe, you still get the loot. No, so no boss debuff limit, up to 16. All right, that's okay. You know, you don't need to have the 8. That's a bit small. Increase health on bosses to offset the player buffs and remove debuff limit. All right, well there we go. That's I guess in line with some of the things they're going to do. Our intent with these changes is for the experience to feel somewhat more challenging than WoW Classic did in 2019. All right, that by default, as I just said, would increase what feels like the difficulty. Curious to see how much they're going to increase the health, but health alone doesn't make the encounters more difficult. It just makes them longer. Due to Season of Mastery's faster content release cadence, we're also planning on several improvements and changes. These include faster leveling. We're planning on increasing experience gains from what they were in the first iteration of WoW Classic. Our current plan is to set them close to what the 1 to 60 XP rates are in the Burning Crusade. Wow, that is a substantial increase, I believe. It's going to feel a lot quicker. With bigger focus on quest experience increases. Okay, so people are going to get 1 to 60 faster. They're going to get to the content faster, which may put that in reach of more people more easily. Quality of life updates. In addition, we're planning on introducing certain improvements that weren't in the original WoW Classic release, but that we can think help create a better experience, such as meeting stones, converted summoning stones. That's negligible, right? That's negligible as far as, you know, difference in gameplay. It is a quality of life, but that doesn't bother me that much. Increase mining and herbalism nodes. I don't think that's a bad thing at all either. That's going to add a great benefit, especially if there's going to be a lot of out-of-country farming by gold sellers, because they don't seem to combat that very well at all. That may make some nodes available for players that want to farm their own materials rather than having to go into an instance, farm gold, and go to the auction house because someone's sitting on the herb and mining nodes like crazy. Let's see here. Realms tend to be more densely populated in WoW Classic compared to the original 2005 design. Increasing gathering node spawns. Yes, this is something. Okay, so node spawns should provide a more consistent economy this time around. Yes. They had larger population, but they didn't increase the spawns of certain things to accommodate that population, which made farming out in the world very challenging for an average player. If you weren't spending tons of time, or have multiple accounts, or have characters parked at locations, that made it difficult. So those things can be. I don't see anything overwhelmingly bad here. I'm not a big fan of the increased XP, and I don't like this word season, description of season. Right? It sounds very, very much like they're trying to turn it into a seasonal game. And I don't think that's what the spirit of the game is. I've never been a fan of the login, rush, lose sleep, push, because it feels like it puts so much pressure on a player to spend time in the game that they may not have. And it also makes you feel like if you're not doing that, that you're left behind in the left behind of the masses of people. So I guess we'll see what happens. And what do you guys think, man? Let me know. If you got any questions, you want to talk about this, feel free to go over to Docken_TV on Twitch, join us for our streams, and or subscribe, like this, and let us know in the comments below. I'll try to get back to everybody that comments on it or has input on what they think of the changes that they're looking for in the upcoming iteration of WoW Classic Season of Mastery. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, till next time, have a good one, and we'll see you.